The red Trek bicycle comes to a halt outside Riverside Prep School's iron gates at 7:47 a.m. Three figures in navy blazers block the entrance like sentinels guarding their territory. Jake Whitfield stands center, flanked by his usual enforcers, that calculated smile spreading across his features as he spots the new arrival. "This gate's reserved for people who actually belong at this school." His voice carries the casual authority of someone who's never been told no. Mia Stone, 16 years old in an oversized gray hoodie, tilts her head slightly. Her dark eyes sweep the scene with the methodical precision of someone trained to assess threats. 8.3 seconds of absolute silence stretch between them like a taut wire. Then comes the sharp crack of impact. Bone meeting cartilage with surgical precision. Jake stumbles backward, blood streaming from his nose. His expression shifts from smug confidence to stunned disbelief in the span of a heartbeat. Mia remains motionless beside her bicycle, one hand still gripping the handlebars, her voice carrying the temperature of winter steel. "Now it belongs to me." The security camera mounted above captures every frame. 72 hours later, federal investigators will analyze this footage with the intensity of archaeologists studying ancient artifacts. Building a community of people who care about justice and truth in education isn't just about likes and subscriptions. It's about recognizing that every student deserves safety at school. If you believe that institutions should protect rather than enable harm, hit that like button to join others who refuse to stay silent when young people face systematic intimidation. Subscribe for real stories about confronting school violence and corruption. Your support through the thanks button helps amplify voices that might otherwise be silenced. Because what happens next will show you exactly why this quiet girl's response sent shockwaves through an entire system built on protecting the wrong people. 3 hours earlier, Mia Stone performs her morning ritual. She checks the bicycle lock 3 times before entering the pristine halls of Riverside Prep. Her movements carry the careful precision of someone raised in environments where carelessness equals consequences. In the cafeteria, she selects a corner table, back against the wall, eyes surveying the entire space with practiced efficiency. This hypervigilance stems from 12 years of life on military bases. Her father, Major William Stone, specialized in counterterrorism operations that required constant relocation and absolute security protocols. What her mother, Sarah, doesn't know is that Mia absorbed more than just geography lessons during those years. She learned to read micro-expressions, identify potential threats, and neutralize larger opponents using leverage and precision rather than brute force. The cover story maintains simplicity. Single mother's daughter, father died in overseas deployment, family seeking normalcy in suburban Connecticut. The reality runs deeper. Major Stone disappeared during a classified mission, leaving behind a wife who believes he's dead, and a daughter trained to survive scenarios most teenagers never imagine. Sarah Stone works double shifts at Riverside General Hospital. She worries constantly about Mia's difficulty making friends, her preference for solitude, her reluctance to join typical teenage activities. What Sarah interprets as social anxiety actually represents operational discipline. Mia understands that maintaining low profiles prevents unwanted attention. Riverside Prep Academy sprawls across 40 acres of manicured lawns. Students arrive in luxury vehicles that cost more than most families' annual income. The contrast between this world of inherited privilege and the steel-reinforced military compounds where Mia learned to function creates cognitive dissonance she navigates daily. Her academic record appears unremarkable. Solid B+ average, no disciplinary issues, no extracurricular involvement. Teachers describe her as quiet but respectful. Parents at school functions don't remember meeting her. Classmates struggle to recall conversations beyond basic pleasantries. This invisibility isn't accidental. It's survival strategy perfected over years of practice. The Riverside Four have maintained unchallenged dominance over the school's social hierarchy for 36 consecutive months. Their reign operates with the efficiency of a well-oiled machine designed to crush opposition before it can organize. Jake Whitfield serves as the operations mastermind. His father, Councilman David Whitfield, chairs the school board's finance committee and personally donated $2.5 million for the new athletic complex. Jake inherited his father's understanding of how money translates into protection, how legal terminology can be weaponized, and how institutional pressure can silence inconvenient voices. His psychological manipulation techniques rival those of seasoned interrogators. Jake specializes in making victims believe they deserve their treatment, that resistance will only invite worse consequences, that authority figures won't believe their accounts over his carefully crafted narratives. Marcus Troy provides the physical intimidation, 6 feet 3 inches of wrestling team muscle wrapped in the respectability of academic achievement. His accidents during practice sessions always receive plausible explanations. Enthusiastic sparring, equipment malfunctions, simple misunderstandings between competitive athletes. The school nurse maintains detailed records of these incidents, each one documented as self-inflicted or mutually consensual. Devin Price handles technological warfare. His computer skills extend far beyond typical teenage hacking into sophisticated evidence manipulation. He can delete security footage, create convincing fake communications, and alter digital records with the precision of someone who understands that modern reputations live or die in cyberspace. Sam Reed represents their inside connection to legal authority. His father serves as municipal judge, providing advance warning about potential investigations and helping craft alibis that withstand official scrutiny. Sam's role creates internal conflict. His conscience wars constantly, with loyalty to friends who have protected him since elementary school. The protection network extends throughout the institution. Principal Hayes depends on Whitfield Foundation funding to maintain the school's prestigious ranking and his own administrative position. Officer Martinez, the campus security chief, receives his salary through a subsidiary company controlled by Jake's family. Even the medical staff participate. Nurse Kelly consistently attributes suspicious injuries to teenage clumsiness or sports-related incidents. Their track record speaks to systematic effectiveness. 23 documented cases of targeted harassment over 3 years, 0 official consequences, 0 successful complaints filed against any member. They've perfected the art of institutional gaslighting, making victims question their own perceptions while maintaining plausible deniability for any observer. Jake approaches Mia during her solitary lunch in the library. His offer carries the casual confidence of someone who's never experienced rejection. "Join our table," he suggests, sliding into the chair across from her advanced physics textbook. $200 weekly allowance if you play girlfriend until homecoming, just for appearances, nothing complicated. Mia glances up from her equations. Her expression reveals nothing beyond mild curiosity. "No," she responds, returning attention to her studies. The simplicity of her refusal catches Jake off guard. He's accustomed to lengthy negotiations, strategic counteroffers, desperate attempts to bargain for better terms. This flat denial represents uncharted territory, in his experience. Marcus materializes beside their table. His bulk casts shadow across Mia's textbook as he leans forward with practiced intimidation. "Basketball tryouts next week," he announces. "Team manager position pays $50 an hour, access to locker facilities, social connections that matter around here." Mia continues reading without acknowledging his presence. Her pen moves across notebook margins, working through complex calculations with steady focus. Devin slides into the remaining chair. His laptop opens to reveal sophisticated graphics and programming interfaces designed to impress. "Private tutoring gig," he offers. $50 hourly. Just pretend you need help with coding projects. Easy money for someone smart enough to appreciate the opportunity. Mia closes her textbook with deliberate precision. She meets Jake's eyes directly, her voice carrying absolute finality. "I said no." The surrounding tables fall silent. Other students sense the unprecedented nature of this exchange. For the first time in Riverside Prep's recent history, someone has rejected the four's recruitment efforts without negotiation or apparent fear. Phase 2 of their campaign begins within hours. Instagram posts appear across the school's social media ecosystem with surgical precision. New girl thinks she's too good for friendship, accompanied by eye-rolling emojis and hashtags designed to mark Mia as fundamentally different, potentially dangerous. Devin launches his cyber assault. Mia's Wi-Fi credentials mysteriously stop functioning, preventing her from submitting digital assignments. Her locker combination changes overnight, requiring administrative assistance that comes with pointed questions about keeping track of important information. Marcus orchestrates physical harassment disguised as accidents. Mia's lunch tray suffers repeated collisions with his substantial frame, sending carefully prepared meals across cafeteria floors. Each incident receives immediate apology, concerned inquiry about potential injury, offers of replacement food that never quite materialize. Sam contributes fabricated evidence. Doctored screenshots appear showing text conversations where Mia allegedly threatens other students with violence. The messages use sophisticated language patterns that mirror her actual communication style, making denial seem like deflection rather than truth. Mrs. Patterson, the guidance counselor, schedules unexpected meetings. She expresses concern about Mia's isolation patterns and difficulty adjusting to our community atmosphere. These sessions probe for emotional vulnerabilities while establishing official documentation of problematic behavior. The campaign escalates systematically. Rumors spread through carefully chosen intermediaries about Mia's expulsion from previous schools for violent conduct. Students begin avoiding her in hallways, changing seats when she enters classrooms, excluding her from group assignments with explanations about personality conflicts. Beth Morgan slides a folded paper across Mia's table during study hall. The senior moves with practiced stealth, making the transfer appear accidental. The note's contents reveal crucial intelligence. They destroyed my sister last year. Same pattern, same players. Document everything. You'll need proof later. This represents the first crack in the four's seemingly impenetrable facade. Beth's intervention suggests their victims aren't as isolated as Jake's group believes. Her willingness to risk exposure by helping Mia indicates deeper currents of resistance flowing beneath Riverside Prep's polished surface. Mia memorizes the note's contents before disposing of it. She begins maintaining detailed records of each harassment incident. Timing, witnesses present, exact words used. Her documentation follows protocols learned during childhood exposure to intelligence gathering. Precise, factual, emotionally neutral. The psychological pressure intensifies. Devon's technological harassment expands to include home internet disruption, altered grades in the school's computer system, and fake communications sent from Mia's accounts to teachers expressing disrespectful opinions. Each digital attack requires hours of effort to correct, creating academic consequences that appear self-inflicted. Jake's manipulation becomes more sophisticated. He spreads concern among faculty about Mia's concerning behavioral patterns and potential for explosive outbursts. His conversations with teachers include carefully planted suggestions about increased supervision, psychological evaluation, possible disciplinary action as preventive measures. The isolation campaign succeeds beyond expectations. Students actively avoid interaction with Mia. Parents express concerns about their children's safety. Teachers begin viewing her through lens of suspicion rather than neutrality. The social environment transforms from merely unwelcoming to actively hostile. Study room B12 becomes the setting for direct confrontation. 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon finds Mia cornered by Jake, Marcus, and Devon, while 12 witnesses occupy nearby tables. Each observer quickly develops sudden fascination with their own materials. When the four enter the space, Jake positions himself directly across from Mia. His voice carries reasonable tone, designed to sound conciliatory to any casual listener. "You have a choice here," he begins, maintaining eye contact with practiced intensity. "Public apology for the misunderstanding about our friendship offer, or things become significantly more difficult." Marcus cracks his knuckles. The sound echoes through the quiet study space like breaking branches. "Accidents happen around here," he adds conversationally, "especially to clumsy new students who don't understand how things work." Devon brandishes his smartphone. The screen displays what appear to be photographs of Mia with suspicious substances, expertly doctored, but convincing enough for administrative purposes. "One touch sends these to every college admissions office on your application list," he explains. "Amazing how quickly reputations can be destroyed in the digital age." Mia rises slowly. Her 5'4" frame seems insignificant compared to Marcus's 6'3" bulk, but something in her posture suggests coiled potential energy waiting for release. Her voice maintains absolute steadiness despite the overwhelming odds. "Gentlemen, you're making a mistake." The threat hangs in the air between them. 12 witnesses hold their collective breath, sensing that this moment represents a crucial turning point in Riverside Prep's carefully maintained social order. The cafeteria fills with typical Tuesday lunch chaos. 200 students create a symphony of conversations, clinking silverware and scraping chairs that masks the approaching storm. Mia navigates through the crowd carrying her modest lunch: apple slices, turkey sandwich, water bottle, seeking her usual corner table where surveillance comes naturally. Jake Whitfield intercepts her path at exactly 12:34 p.m. Marcus flanks left, while Devon positions himself right, creating a triangle of intimidation that blocks every escape route. Sam stands by the main doorway, completing their tactical formation with nervous energy that suggests his conscience wages war against loyalty. The ambient noise continues around them. Most students remain oblivious to the confrontation developing in their midst, though several smartphones rise instinctively as their owners sense something significant about to unfold. Jake's hand reaches toward Mia's backpack strap. His voice carries mock concern designed for the audience. "Time for that public apology, new girl." 12:34 and 17 seconds. Mia's left hand intercepts Jake's wrist with surgical precision. Her fingers locate the pressure point that controls his entire arm function. The movement appears almost casual, like she's simply brushing away an unwanted insect. 12:34 and 19 seconds. Her right elbow drives upward into Jake's solar plexus. The impact forces air from his lungs in a whoosh that several nearby students mistake for dramatic sighing. Jake doubles over involuntarily, his body following physical laws that privilege training over bulk. 12:34 and 20 seconds. As Jake's face descends, Mia's knee rises to meet it. The collision produces a wet crack that silences conversations in an expanding circle of shocked witnesses. Blood begins streaming from Jake's nose before he can process what's happening. 12:34 and 22 seconds. Jake straightens reflexively. His hands move toward his injured face in protective gesture. But Mia's right cross connects with his jaw before his arms complete their defensive motion. The punch carries momentum generated from her entire body, not just her arm. 12:34 and 25 seconds. Jake hits the cafeteria floor unconscious. His expensive blazer spreads around him like dark wings while blood pools beneath his head. The surrounding students freeze in tableau of disbelief, smartphones capturing every angle of the impossible scene. Marcus lunges forward with wrestling team reflexes. His size advantage should guarantee victory. But Mia's lunch tray becomes an improvised shield that deflects his grasping hands while her foot finds the puddle of spilled milk beneath a nearby table. Marcus slips, his coordination failing him at the critical moment. Devon attempts flanking maneuver. His laptop bag swings toward Mia's head with enough force to cause concussion, but she ducks beneath the arc while her elbow finds his ribs. The crack of impact triggers the fire extinguisher alarm as Devon stumbles backward into the emergency equipment. Chemical foam sprays across the cafeteria floor. Students scatter in panic while emergency sirens begin wailing throughout the building. The chaos provides perfect cover for Mia to resume eating her apple slices, maintaining absolute calm while EMTs rush toward Jake's motionless form. Principal Hayes arrives within minutes. His face displays the pallor of someone watching carefully constructed defenses crumble in real time. Jake's injuries require immediate hospitalization: concussion, broken nose, possible jaw fracture from a 16-year-old girl who weighs barely 100 pounds. Marcus nurses a dislocated shoulder that ended his wrestling season permanently. Devon clutches ribs that produce sharp pain with every breath. The smartphone footage spreads across social media platforms faster than administrative damage control can contain it. Justice for Mia begins trending within hours as students from other schools share similar stories about systematic bullying protected by institutional corruption. The carefully maintained narrative about Riverside Prep's excellence dissolves under scrutiny. Officer Martinez attempts evidence suppression. Security cameras mysteriously malfunction. Witness statements disappear from official files. Medical reports minimize injury severity. But the digital age operates beyond his technological understanding. Dozens of backup videos exist on personal devices, cloud storage systems, social media platforms that refuse cooperation with local authority. Dr. Patricia Carlisle, the emergency room physician treating Jake, documents injuries consistent with professional combat training rather than lucky amateur self-defense. Her medical report includes detailed analysis of impact patterns, force calculations, and precision targeting that suggests extensive martial arts education. This documentation becomes crucial evidence in subsequent federal investigation. I'm genuinely curious about what happened in that cafeteria. If your child faced 3-against-1 odds with institutional protection favoring the bullies, would you want them to fight back or seek adult help that might never come? Share your thoughts about teaching kids when self-defense becomes necessary, because what federal investigators discovered about Mia's background changes everything we thought we knew about this story. 47 previous victims emerge within 72 hours. Their testimonies reveal systematic patterns of harassment, evidence tampering, and administrative cover-ups spanning multiple academic years. Beth Morgan's sister provides detailed documentation of her own ordeal, including recorded conversations with faculty members who refused intervention despite overwhelming evidence. The school district faces immediate federal investigation. Agents arrive with search warrants that bypass local authority structures entirely. Principal Hayes discovers his office sealed with federal tape, while FBI computer specialists examine financial records linking Riverside Prep to an intricate network of political corruption. Councilman David Whitfield finds his political career imploding. Federal prosecutors present evidence of money laundering through educational donations, witness intimidation using municipal resources, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. His carefully constructed empire of influence crumbles as former allies distance themselves from toxic association. Marcus loses his wrestling scholarship. College recruiters withdraw offers after reviewing documented evidence of systematic violence disguised as athletic accidents. His future plans evaporate while he faces potential criminal charges for assault patterns extending back 2 years. Devon's technological crimes attract federal attention. His hacking activities violated multiple federal statutes regarding computer fraud, identity theft, and evidence tampering. The sophisticated nature of his operations suggests professional training that sparks additional investigation into his background and associates. Sam Reed's cooperation provides crucial testimony. His detailed knowledge of the conspiracy's legal framework helps federal prosecutors understand how institutional corruption enabled systematic abuse. His father's judicial career faces ethics investigation, while Sam transfers to a different school district under witness protection protocols. The settlement reaches $3.2 million. Individual victims receive compensation, while the school district implements comprehensive anti-bullying policies under federal oversight. New administrative staff undergo extensive background checks and regular federal monitoring to prevent future corruption. Nurse Kelly loses her medical license. Her falsified reports endangered students by covering up serious injuries and enabling continued violence. The state medical board revokes her credentials, while criminal charges proceed for endangering minors through professional misconduct. Agent Sarah Chen arrives at Riverside Prep 3 days after the cafeteria incident. Her FBI credentials grant access that local authority cannot restrict. Students observe her interviewing faculty members with methodical precision that suggests this investigation extends beyond simple assault charges. Chen's background includes counterterrorism operations. Her presence indicates federal interest in connections between local corruption and national security concerns. She examines security footage with expertise that reveals details invisible to conventional law enforcement analysis. Mia maintains her cover story during initial questioning. She describes basic self-defense classes her mother insisted upon after her father's death, emphasizing lucky timing rather than trained skill. Her responses carry convincing emotional authenticity that deflects suspicion about her true capabilities. But Chen's trained eye recognizes combat techniques that exceed civilian self-defense instruction. The precision of Mia's movements, the tactical awareness she displayed, the efficient neutralization of multiple opponents suggests military-level training inconsistent with her supposed background. The investigation expands beyond school boundaries. Federal agents examine connections between Whitfield's political network and organized crime operations that threaten national security. Local corruption becomes entry point for larger criminal enterprise with international implications. Jake's father faces charges that extend far beyond municipal corruption. His financial connections link to money laundering operations, funding domestic terrorism. The school district served as testing ground for techniques later employed against federal witnesses and law enforcement personnel. 2 weeks after the incident, Mia maintains her routine. She arrives early, sits in her corner, completes assignments with mechanical precision. Other students treat her with mixture of respect and wariness. She defeated the untouchable 4, but her capacity for violence makes casual friendship complicated. Teachers struggle with conflicting emotions. Relief that systematic bullying finally faced consequences, wars with concern about the explosive method of resolution. Mia's academic performance remains consistent, but her social isolation deepens as classmates process implications of her hidden capabilities. The media attention creates unwanted scrutiny. News outlets request interviews, while true crime podcasters speculate about deeper conspiracies. Mia's mother, Sarah, expresses increasing worry about her daughter's newfound notoriety and its potential long-term consequences. College recruiters contact the family with offers based on Mia's demonstrated leadership potential and courage under pressure. These opportunities represent positive outcomes, but they also increase visibility that conflicts with operational security requirements. Beth Morgan becomes an unexpected ally. Her gratitude for avenging her sister's treatment creates genuine friendship between the girls. Their conversations provide Mia with normal teenage interaction, while Beth gains insight into strength that transcends physical capability. Social media continues amplifying the story. Riverside Justice generates thousands of posts from students sharing their own bullying experiences and institutional failures. The incident catalyzes broader conversation about power structures in educational environments. Agent Chen approaches Mia after school on a Thursday afternoon. Her timing suggests careful observation of daily routines and optimal moments for private conversation. The parking lot provides sufficient privacy while maintaining public visibility that prevents speculation about clandestine meetings. "Your father sends his regards," Chen states without preamble. Her words carry weight that transcends casual greeting. Operation Nightfall enters its final phase within 60 days. Mia's carefully maintained facade cracks momentarily. Surprise flickers across her features before operational discipline reasserts control. "I don't know what you're talking about," she responds automatically, maintaining cover even as her world shifts fundamentally. Chen produces federal identification. Her credentials identify her as Assistant Director of Counterterrorism Operations rather than simple field agent. Major William Stone remains deep undercover investigating domestic terrorism networks. Your witness protection cover served dual purposes, protecting you while providing him operational flexibility. The revelation recontextualizes everything. Mia's relocation to Riverside Prep wasn't random placement, but strategic positioning within a corrupt system that federal investigators needed to penetrate. Her violent skills weren't just inherited genetics, but deliberate preparation for dangerous circumstances. The bullying incident accelerated our timeline, Chen continues. Your visibility compromised operational security, but it also provided evidence we needed to dismantle this network. Your father's mission depends on connections we've uncovered through the school district investigation. Mia processes implications rapidly. Her normal life was always illusion. Her father alive but unreachable. Her future predetermined by circumstances beyond her control. The sacrifice required for his mission success includes her continued separation from family stability. Chen's expression softens slightly. Behind federal authority lies recognition of teenage girl forced into adult responsibilities. Athens Protocol prepared 12 operatives' children for scenarios exactly like this. You're not alone in carrying this burden. The Athens Protocol represents classified federal program. Children of deep cover operatives receive specialized training disguised as normal childhood experiences. Military base relocations provided cover for advanced instruction in combat, surveillance, evidence analysis, and psychological resistance techniques. Other students like Mia exist throughout the country. Their cover identities place them in schools, communities, and social structures where their parents' missions require infiltration. Each child carries similar burden of hidden identity and dangerous capability. Chen shows Mia photographs from other locations. A boy in Memphis demonstrates identical combat stance and hypervigilant behavior patterns. His recent incident involved disabling 5 gang members using cafeteria equipment, suggesting parallel operational requirements. The program's scope extends internationally. American operatives' families receive protection through strategic placement that serves multiple purposes. Children gain normal experiences while maintaining readiness for emergency extraction or defensive action. Mia's performance exceeded expectations. Her successful neutralization of systematic threats while maintaining operational cover demonstrates program effectiveness. Her psychological stability under pressure validates years of careful preparation and training. But success carries consequences. Her increased visibility threatens not only her own safety, but her father's mission completion. Federal protection requires enhanced measures that further separate her from normal teenage experience. The mirror scene plays out differently. Instead of another school cafeteria, Chen shows Mia surveillance footage from detention facility where major organized crime figures await trial. One prisoner displays combat readiness identical to Mia's, despite appearing to be ordinary accountant. Your father has maintained cover for 18 months, Chen explains. His target network extends from local corruption to international terrorism funding. The evidence collected through Riverside Prep provides final pieces needed for mass arrests. Jake's father represents small component of larger criminal enterprise. His political influence facilitated money laundering that funded domestic terrorism operations. The school district corruption served as testing ground for techniques employed against federal witnesses. Operation Nightfall's success depends on simultaneous arrests across multiple jurisdictions. Any premature exposure could allow key figures to escape justice or eliminate witnesses. Mia's visibility created timeline pressure that requires careful management. The organized crime network includes elements that would target operatives' families. Mia's demonstrated capability makes her valuable asset, but also primary target for revenge operations. Enhanced protection becomes operational necessity rather than optional security measure. Chen's revelation carries both reassurance and burden. Mia's father lives and works toward justice, but their reunion depends on mission completion that could require additional months or years of separation. Sam Reed approaches Mia during lunch the following week. His request for private conversation represents significant risk given his family's legal situation. The courage required for this interaction suggests genuine remorse and desire for redemption. I need you to know, he begins hesitantly, that I never wanted anyone to get hurt. My father's position made me feel trapped between loyalty and conscience, but watching Jake's operation destroy people like your sister's friend showed me how wrong we were. Mia listens without judgment. Her training includes psychological assessment techniques that reveal Sam's genuine distress and commitment to making amends. His cooperation with federal investigators, despite personal cost, demonstrates moral courage worthy of respect. The evidence I provided will help prosecute not just Jake's group, but the entire network that protected them, Sam continues. My testimony includes recorded conversations with my father about covering up previous incidents, financial records showing payments to school officials, and documentation of systematic evidence tampering. Their conversation establishes foundation for tentative friendship. Sam's insider knowledge of institutional corruption, combined with Mia's operational capabilities, creates partnership that could prove valuable in future situations requiring civilian cooperation. The healing process begins slowly. Other students observe Sam's public association with Mia as indication that previous social hierarchies no longer apply. His rejection of former privileges demonstrates that change remains possible even for those complicit in systematic abuse. 3 months later, Riverside Prep operates under federal oversight. New administrative staff implement transparent policies that prioritize student safety over institutional reputation. Regular monitoring ensures compliance while former victims receive ongoing counseling and support services. Jake recovers physically but faces criminal charges. His psychological adjustment to powerlessness proves more difficult than healing broken bones. The boy who once commanded absolute authority must navigate juvenile justice system as defendant rather than protected plaintiff. College applications include explanations of federal investigation. Admissions committees struggle with evaluating students whose academic records reflect systematic corruption rather than genuine achievement. The long-term consequences extend far beyond high school graduation. Mia's mother, Sarah, discovers partial truth about their situation. Federal agents explain security requirements without revealing operational details about her husband's mission. The knowledge that William lives provides comfort, tempered by uncertainty about reunion timeline. The community grapples with exposed corruption. Parents question their trust in institutional authority while demanding transparency that conflicts with operational security requirements. Federal oversight provides protection, but limits local autonomy in educational decisions. Media attention gradually diminishes. Newer scandals capture public interest, while Riverside Prep rebuilds reputation through demonstrated commitment to student welfare. The transformation requires years of consistent effort and federal verification. Agent Chen's final conversation with Mia occurs 6 months after the cafeteria incident. Operation Nightfall achieved success with arrest of 47 individuals across 12 states. The criminal network's dismantling represents significant victory against domestic terrorism funding. Your father's mission concludes within 60 days, Chen announces. Extraction protocols begin immediately, followed by family reunification under new identities in location determined by ongoing threat assessment. Mia feels conflicted emotions. Reunion with her father represents answered prayers. But leaving Riverside Prep means abandoning friends and community that finally accepted her. The cost of operational success includes sacrifice of hard-won social connections. The Athens Protocol graduates its first class. 12 operatives' children complete training and prepare for normal lives with families who served national security through personal sacrifice. Their experiences provide foundation for future program development. But normalcy remains relative concept. Skills learned during childhood cannot be unlearned. Hypervigilance becomes permanent psychological feature, and capacity for violence shapes all future relationships. The price of protection includes fundamental alteration of personality and social capability. Chen's parting words carry both warning and encouragement. Your strength protected innocent people and helped dismantle dangerous criminals. But remember that power requires constant moral evaluation. The line between protector and predator depends on choices you make every day. The final scene reveals another school, different state. A student with familiar thousand-yard stare sits alone at lunch while observing classmates with tactical awareness. His backpack bears discreet patch reading, Athens Protocol, Class of 2024. Security footage from Memphis shows this boy disabling 5 gang members using only cafeteria tray. The incident mirrors Mia's confrontation, but with higher stakes and more dangerous opponents. Federal investigators arrive within hours, suggesting coordinated response to multiple operations. Text message appears on Chen's secure phone. Memphis situation contained. Subject extracted safely. Operation Phoenix ready for activation. The message indicates broader network of protected families and ongoing missions requiring similar cover stories. Mia's story represents single thread in complex tapestry. Federal operatives' children serve dual purposes as protected assets and potential resources for future operations. Their training continues throughout childhood, preparing them for scenarios that most civilians never imagine. The red bicycle remains parked safely at Riverside Prep's entrance. Mia rides it daily to maintain normal routine while processing implications of her transformed identity. The simple act of cycling to school carries weight of federal protection and operational security. But somewhere across the country, another teenager with identical training faces similar challenges. The Athens Protocol continues producing young people capable of protecting themselves and others when institutional authority fails to provide safety. The Memphis incident file sits on Chen's desk. Surveillance footage shows Marcus Drake, 17 years old, neutralizing 5 gang members who cornered him behind the school gymnasium. His movements mirror Mia's precision. Economical, devastating, psychologically calculated to minimize long-term damage while ensuring immediate compliance. Drake's cover story maintains similar elements. Military family, deceased father, struggling single mother working multiple jobs to afford private school tuition. The reality operates with familiar patterns. Deep cover operative father infiltrating domestic terrorism cells, while son provides operational flexibility through strategic placement. But Drake's mission carries higher stakes. Memphis gangs connect directly to international weapons trafficking rather than local corruption. His target environment includes genuine killers who wouldn't hesitate to eliminate threats, making his defensive capabilities matters of survival rather than justice. Chen reviews files from other locations. Phoenix, Seattle, Charlotte, Atlanta. Each city contains Athens Protocol graduates navigating similar circumstances. Their parents serve national security through personal sacrifice, while their children bear psychological burden of hidden identities and dangerous responsibilities. The program's success metrics include both operational achievements and psychological stability. Regular evaluation ensures participants maintain moral compass despite exposure to violence and corruption. Mia's incident represents textbook execution, proportional response, minimal collateral damage, maintenance of cover story. 2 years later, Mia sits in Georgetown University's admissions office. Her application essay describes overcoming bullying through community support and personal courage. The carefully crafted narrative omits federal operations, witness protection, and combat training while emphasizing themes of justice and resilience. Her academic performance reflects genuine intelligence freed from survival pressures. Without constant threat assessment and operational concerns, she excels in international relations coursework with particular focus on counterterrorism policy. The irony of studying her father's profession from civilian perspective provides unique insights. Professor Janet Morrison, herself a former CIA analyst, recognizes something familiar in Mia's analytical approach. Her term papers demonstrate understanding of intelligence gathering and threat assessment that exceeds textbook knowledge. Morrison's careful mentorship provides guidance without compromising operational security. The friendship with Beth Morgan continues despite geographical separation. Their weekly video calls maintain connection forged through shared trauma and mutual respect. Beth studies criminal justice at Northwestern, inspired by witnessing systematic corruption's exposure and subsequent reform. Sarah Stone adjusts to life with enhanced federal protection. Her nursing position at Walter Reed Army Medical Center provides cover, while allowing proximity to intelligence community resources. The reunion with William remains months away, but regular coded communications confirm his safety and mission progress. Jake Whitfield serves 18 months in juvenile detention. His release includes mandatory counseling, community service, and federal monitoring that extends through college years. The boy who once commanded absolute authority learns humility through consequences he never imagined possible. His transformation surprises everyone. Prison experience strips away entitled arrogance, while forcing confrontation with victims' perspectives. Jake's testimony against his father's criminal associates demonstrates genuine remorse and commitment to rehabilitation rather than strategic manipulation. Marcus Troy receives athletic scholarship to small college program. His wrestling abilities remain intact despite learning to compete without intimidation tactics. The discipline required for legitimate athletic achievement provides positive outlet for physical capabilities previously used for harm. Devin Price's technological skills find constructive application. Federal supervision includes internship opportunities with cybersecurity firms that monitor his activities while providing career development. His insider knowledge of hacking techniques proves valuable for defensive applications. The broader implications ripple through educational policy. Riverside Prep's transformation becomes model for institutional reform, while federal oversight prevents regression to previous corruption. Other school districts implement similar transparency measures to avoid federal intervention. Mia's story inspires documentary filmmakers, true crime podcasters, and educational researchers. Her identity remains protected through careful editing, but her example demonstrates individual courage's power to expose systematic failure and create lasting change. The Athens Protocol continues operating in shadows. New families enter witness protection, while their children receive training that might never be needed but provides essential safety net when institutional authority fails to protect the innocent. Agent Chen's final report concludes with statistical analysis. 47 arrests, $3.8 billion in seized assets, 12 terrorist plots disrupted, and 137 victims provided justice they never expected to receive. The Riverside Prep investigation became catalyst for nationwide reform in educational oversight and federal intervention protocols. But success measurements extend beyond numbers. Mia Stone transformed from frightened military child into confident young woman who understands that strength serves justice rather than personal gain. Her example inspires other Athens Protocol graduates facing similar challenges in different locations. The program expands internationally. Allied nations request similar protective services for their operatives' families while sharing intelligence about threats requiring coordinated response. Children like Mia represent hope that next generation will inherit world made safer through their parents' sacrifice and their own courage. Somewhere tonight, another teenager practices combat forms in basement training facility. Their cover story awaits activation when duty calls, carrying forward legacy of protection through preparation.